Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to season 3 of the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kayla Smith, CEO of the Hormone Puzzle Society, a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and pregnancy, an integrative, holistic nutritionist, doctor of natural medicine and training, creator of the Hormone Puzzle Method, an infertility warrior, 2-time boy mom, and women's health expert. This podcast is for women struggling with infertility, painful periods, terrible PMS, or really just any symptoms of hormone imbalance that they are ready to eliminate for good. Tune in weekly as we interview amazing experts in the field of women's health, breaking down those hormone walls, nerding out on nutrition, and having way too much fun. Whether you're beginning your journey or you've been struggling for years, we're going to finally help you put those pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so that you can get pregnant and eliminate those pesky symptoms for good. Not to mention, stay pregnant, have a healthy super baby, and easy postpartum. Are you ready? This season is packed with even more expert guests, sharing groundbreaking knowledge, giving you that jolt of energy that you so desperately need, sending you lots of virtual hugs, and inspiring you to take your fertility into your own hands and make that baby. Thank you all so much for tuning in and being amazing listeners. So now let's get started on your road to transformation. On today's show, we have Dr. Renata Taravski. She is a straight-talking astrologer, spiritual mentor, Reiki master, and naturopath who cuts through the spiritual fluff to deliver the sassy cosmic wisdom and healing you didn't even know you were searching for. But what makes Renata a true master of her craft is her commitment to helping empaths, spiritual entrepreneurs, healers, and seekers confidently master their energy and express their purpose so they can service the world the way they were born to. So if you love a no-BS approach with a little woo-woo and someone who's already walked the path to tell you exactly what you need to do to make that happen, she's your girl. On today's show, we're talking all about energy medicine and your fertility, a topic that is near and dear to my heart and one I talk about here at the Hormone Puzzle Society a lot. So now, without further ado, I would love to welcome Renata to the show. Hey, Renata, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I know, I'm so excited. I was saying earlier, this conversation is going to be a good one. So let's dive into things. Tell us a little bit more about you and how you started working in women's health and with energy medicine and all of that.
Yeah, so I guess I'll give you my origin story. I'll try to do a really fast Coles note, okay. But I think this will give a lot of context and appreciation for how sometimes we get to where we are in our journey by our own personal healing. So, rewind when I was in university, actually growing up, I struggled with a lot of menstrual irregularities. So my period was never regular. And sometimes I would bleed so heavily. I didn't have pain though, luckily, had atrocious PMS, but I would bleed so heavily that I would faint and sometimes go into a seizure.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow.
The seizures were very rare, but they were always linked to my period. So eventually, I explored conventional options like birth control, but the fainting and the seizures still occurred on my period. And, back in university at the time, this was maybe over 10 years ago, I was also struggling with an eating disorder, depression, anxiety. And that was really because I was in a program or taking courses or trying to pursue a path that something didn't feel right, but I just felt like I was just trying to go through the motions of life. And there was a lot of other personal issues, the part-time job the summer job I was working on, I was doing night shifts. So like hormonally things like physiologically were not aligning. And then, emotionally that started to affect me. And then from that, the eating disorder manifested as a way to control my life, which then furthered my hormonal problem.
For sure. Okay.
So eventually I wanted to do something, because it's like I wasn't this person who struggled with this apathy and this chronic social anxiety. That wasn't me. And I understood it was a manifestation of all the things that were occurring at the time. And when I went to seek conventional care, for my periods, for my mental health, my options were essentially medication.
Mm-hmm.
And in my heart and soul, I want to be very clear with people. I believe that sometimes, the conventional route, I can appreciate it is for some people.
Mm-hmm.
However, I knew in my heart and soul, like, that is not what I'm going to be exploring, because I don't feel like, and I resisted getting brain imaging and especially for the seizures, because I knew something in my soul. I'm like, I'm going to be put on medications, and these medications will change me neurologically for life.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I was studying at the time in university. I was actually in neuroscience. So it's like, I was quite aware of my future. And I was like, I don't have another option, but I'm not choosing this.
Right.
And that was a pretty brave move, following my intuition, it was almost 15 years ago, when this stuff wasn't really mainstream. We didn't have social media. So I just want to be very clear that I was going on a feeling, nothing else. I just knew I wasn't settling for that, even though I had zero options at the time. Later on that week, there was like a job fair in the university I was at, and naturopathic medicine was one of the stations, booths. And I remember being like, what is this? And it just aligned. And you have to understand, at the time, I was a very pros and cons person, and I would list the pros and I would list the cons. And even if I had more pros than cons, but my gut was screaming, this is wrong, I would still go with the pros.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in my life, you have to understand, I never heard about naturopathic medicine. I had no idea what it was. I didn't know it existed. But reading the philosophy of the medicine, something in my soul was like, this is where you're going to go. Mm-hmm. And again, over 15 years ago, and especially in Canada, like, that wasn't a thing. It was still very taboo. But I was like, no, I'm going here because I exercised my options through the route that I was, from what I know, this is where I'm going. No idea how you start a career, how one starts a career, how success. I didn't care. I just literally followed that soul calling. Okay. And invested another 6 figures into my education. So you have to understand, it's not like that was just waiting for me. It was a huge financial investment as well as my time.
Right.
But again, I was like, I don't care. Like, I have one life and I'm exploring this. Mm-hmm. And then through my journey through naturopathic medicine, I learned, hormones, and how through Chinese medicine as well, I really branched out to there. And then the chakras, and then Ayurveda, how it's not just biology, it's energetics, it's your emotions, it's your, the trauma or certain instances and toxins. There's so many factors that affect one's well-being. Mm-hmm. And through this process of school, I learned to heal my body physically. I regained my cycles more regularly, the fainting and the seizures stopped, and I got to the root cause of why that was occurring for me. Mm-hmm. And even when things are off track hormonally, I have now awareness around, what's going on? And it's usually, for me, the underlying root is stress. Mm-hmm. Okay. So graduating then from school, in practice, thinking, I've made it. This is my life. I'm going to treat people. I'm going to focus on fertility and women's issues, because I got so much of my own personal empowerment from the experience. Because a lot of women, again, I want to make this very clear. A lot of people are told their hormonal issues are normal. Correction. They are not normal. They are common. Those are two separate things. And that makes me very irate, because it's not normal to be having excruciating pain during your period. It is not normal to have PMS for a week before your period. Is it common? Yes. Is it normal? No. That's not how our bodies are designed to behave. That means something is out of alignment. So I digress. Now back to my story. I was practicing, and I was seeing a lot of people, specifically because I was branching out in gut health and fertility and hormonal health. Those were kind of my two, because I struggled with IBS and that whole gut brain connection, and then the whole hormonal thing. And I was seeing more and more with, especially when it came to fertility, this missing gap of the emotional piece, of grief, of not actually treating, the whole entire patient. And we're just looking like, we're going to give you this and we're going to try to balance this hormone. And I'm like, wait, you're still struggling with grief from your previous miscarriage. You still have this shame you're carrying around because you haven't gotten pregnant yet. You think that's not going to affect a woman's fertility when they're doing all the right things physically. And I was seeing this missing link, and it was just through my own experience and process, and obviously with my own hormonal issue, that I was like, there's a huge gap energetically as well as emotionally when it comes to this. And people are investing in it. People are investing thousands of dollars to be getting IVF in Canada. I'm from Canada. In Canada, I'm not sure how it works in other parts of the country, in the world. And I was like, this is not okay. This is like highway robbery. Like they're not a number. They're not a system. They're not like one missing hormone. It's not just this, this is what we have to correct. So I branched out to more doing this acupuncture, in addition to the physical stuff, and then combining it with Reiki. So we're getting the energetics, we're helping support your physiology, and then also helping you deal with the fear or the trauma or the grief around that whole experience.
For sure. Oh my gosh. I love this so much because it's so aligned with what we do here at the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Society. Yeah. And I love that you had the wherewithal to say like, no, this is not my destiny. Cause that's exactly what I did with my fertility journey. I was told I needed to do IVF because I was 36, but nothing was medically wrong with me. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I'm also pursuing my degree in holistic and natural medicine. And we talk a lot about energy medicine. And I have said that so many times. This is a missing link. These people, these women have this trauma. They have this, grief and this loss, and it is all tied together. So I'm so glad we're talking about this right now. I could go on a tangent myself, but, so energy medicine, why do you think that this is a missing link? And explain, if you can, briefly, like, what does that mean? What does energy medicine mean?
So when I'm talking about energy medicine, I'm specifically referring to like Reiki, as the tool that I use. And that saying, everything is energy. Well, if you look at our cells under a microscope and you see the protons, the neutrons, the atoms, what's in between that space? It's just, is it space? No, it's energy, it's vibration. We know this. Like this is studied in quantum physics. This isn't some, woo-woo thing, and the chakra systems and the energetic body has been around for thousands of years. I have my own beliefs. Why? And then you can look back into history why this was deemed as taboo or evil or terrible. Well, what happens when people are well? Who doesn't profit from that? Right? So it's very easy to demonize something. And then look how deeply ingrained it is in our society about this alternative medicine when it's actually been the most longest system of health and well-being. And that's okay that we've advanced. Like I'm going to go, if I have to get surgery to use conventional medicine, I'm not going to Reiki my surgery in space, right? So I'm not irrational that way. And if we're an energy body, and the problem is people can't see beyond our five senses. So sometimes when they can't see something, it's hard to understand it exists.
Exactly.
And people are so fixated on the physical body, the mental, even more mental now, that's more of a normal conversation or common conversation. And more people are getting around to the emotions, but we're still a little bit behind on energy, which is a function of our existence. So I say to people, you shower every day. Well, hopefully, I don't know, maybe most days, you get the point. But after a while, if you're not showering, you're going to be dirty. Like you know what I mean? Like you're going to kind of feel, you're going to get bacteria, like things on you, can get an infection. Like that can create a problem. Your physical hygiene. What about your energetic hygiene?
Right.
You're merging into other people's energy fields. You think that does not impact your well-being? I'm sorry, you're wrong. I've seen it firsthand personally, and I've seen it over 10 years in practice. And I can guarantee you, me and my patients and clients are not hallucinating.
Right.
So that's why I say it's so important to address the energetic body, because if you're not, imagine carrying around 30 or 20 or 30 plus years of this stuff attached to your aura. You think you're going to be thriving? No. Right. And we sometimes say, well, good vibes, or, when you walk into a room, you can feel the energy's off. That stuff's real. So you're saying that it doesn't impact you again, but that's not been something that's deemed normal in our society. And like I said, well, who doesn't benefit when your humans aren't thriving?
Exactly.
Okay. And then Reiki energy is, so when I'm doing Reiki, I don't touch people, but sometimes people will lay their hands on you, and it's not me healing you. It's source energy, consciousness, universal energy. And you get trained to use the energy and use the tools, and you're basically a conduit
Mm-hmm.
and a vessel to help, move blocks, align the energy, clear things, remove things, so that the energy body is optimizing.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it works significantly well for past trauma, things that, because the body doesn't lie, things that have been stored in the body, even though you've went to therapy for 100 years and talked the shit out of it, still you're not getting results, or you eat all the vegetables and take all your vitamins. Like, that's really what it helps you do.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you find that you can do this with just Reiki, or do you need acupuncture too?
I do just Reiki. Like if I'm doing distance Reiki, you could do it with both. I like to optimize it. So I don't know if anyone else in the world, to be honest, I'm sure there is, but I've not come across it combining both acupuncture and, Reiki. So I'm just optimizing the tools together.
I love that. So talk to me a little bit about distance Reiki, because, we learn about this in the university I'm at all the time, how you can heal at a distance, and it's so cool. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. Again, because people are like, well, how, if you're not in the same room as me, how does that work? Well, again, energy transcends time and space.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when you get your level 2 Reiki, you get access to certain tools. They're symbols, but they're tools that allow you to do distance Reiki on someone who gives you consent. Mm-hmm. So that's really all there is to it. It's just the training you get, the tools, and then once you apply that tool to your practice, doesn't matter if I'm in Canada, someone's in, Costa Rica, half across the world, or even in the local environment with 2 separate buildings, because again, it's that intention too. Mm-hmm. So that's how that works. And I know a lot of people are leery about it, but everyone who's tried it, they're like, wow, I was surprised. And I was like, I know there's so much more to our reality that we don't even understand, or we're barely tapping into.
And do you find people that are more optimistic about this, where they believe it's actually going to work, get better results, than somebody who's like very pessimistic and like, oh, that's just woo-woo medicine?
Yeah, your belief around your treatment is going to affect your healing. Bruce Lipton did a great job explaining the biology of belief. Even Joe Dispenza explains this as well. If you have a strong, you can still have your reservations. Like, I want to be clear, like you can still have your reservations. You can still be, mindful of expectations. You could still be a little skeptical or doubtful, especially if you've been on a journey to healing for a long time and you're searching for that relief. However, if you are at least open, I do feel, compared to those who are like, I'm just doing it because so-and-so forced me, or I'm just doing it, but they don't actually want to commit to the healing. Yeah, your results are going to be very different. Intention is so important. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's also a big missing link when it comes to healing, is the practitioner's intention, mm-hmm. and the person's intention, as well as their belief around their healing. But if you subconsciously, and this can be a huge unconscious, a lot of people have unconscious blocks to healing because we want to avoid pain. We want to avoid the trauma of loss again. We want to avoid what if this is temporary and it's only going to last a little bit, and then what if I go back to this experience? So a lot of the times we have these unconscious blocks to our own healing because of the fears of, what if I actually don't heal, or what if that person judges me, or can I commit to this forever? Not the willingness to change.
For sure.
And so sometimes people come and they want to quote unquote heal, but they have these deep embedded beliefs that are conflicting with their healing. So I'm always exploring that as well with people. I'm not just like, oh, we're going to do it. But if I see there's something going on with the progress, I will be like, okay, I just got to say straight, like, what is going on? Or I'll feel it on their body energetically. I'll be like, you are so afraid of having a miscarriage again. Like I could feel the anxiety in your heart, in your womb, but there's half of you that wants to proceed. There's half of you that doesn't. And they're like, I've never told anyone that. So again, like, are we hallucinating? I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
I don't think so.
No, definitely not.
Which can then help the patient or the client, depending if I'm working on a clinical setting, we're just doing distant Reiki, the opportunity to just be with where they're at. Because a lot of people withhold this. They will suffer in silence because they don't want to burden others, or they feel shame about how they feel, or they feel like they can't do anything about the situation. And just the sheer opportunity to be seen and heard is profoundly healing.
For sure. I love that.
Many layers to this experience.
For sure. And so how do we know that our energy's off? Is it where we are seeing these symptoms pop up, or is it guts, or a little both?
It's different for everybody, but there's some big indications, and it manifests differently for different people. But usually if you're feeling very triggered,
right?
these are common ones. If you're feeling very triggered, and I want to also be clear, I understand if you're not sleeping well, you're not eating well, you got stress in your life, that's going to obviously affect you, but that's also affecting your energy. So a good indicator is if you're drained, if you're uninspired, if you're unmotivated, if you have trouble sleeping, if you feel like there's this resistance to doing things in your life, there's a lot of anxiety, worry, fear. I'm not talking like fleeting moments, but if this is like a chronic feeling you have, sadness, what else? Irritability. Irritability is a huge one. Feeling very drained or just exhausted or even emotionally overwhelmed. Also chronic pain. Energetically, when I was withholding publicly speaking out about certain things or views of mine over the past couple of years, I had jaw pain for a year straight, and I was going to the osteo and I was getting relief, but it wasn't subsiding. And I knew in my core, I'm like, I know why, because I'm not expressing something and this is how it's manifesting. So it's going to manifest differently for everyone, but those are pretty big ones. So I would suggest exploring Reiki or a form of energy medicine, especially if you haven't gotten relief from other modalities.
And so how many sessions do we really need to start to see relief? Is it just like one, or is it different for everyone?
You see relief after one session. However, if you have long-standing stuff, and it depends what you're working, what your goals are. So if I have someone who's dealing with like a long-standing, situation, one Reiki session is not going to change your life. It will give you pretty good relief, I can tell you that much. But if we're not over time doing the work and applying, so Reiki can give you access to information again that's hidden in your unconscious. But if you're not going into your life applying and shifting and making different choices and exercising healthier boundaries, maybe even changing your diet, it's also going to only take you so far. It's not the one fits all miracle treatment either.
Gotcha.
But I do find people, I have to gauge with every person. It's just like and then some people come regularly because it's like, they're like, I feel like balanced, I feel aligned, and that's their own personal choice. For me, I do it at least once or twice a month. I'm very sensitive, and I'm around a lot of people's energy that if I'm going to be a little bit snippety snappity.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a short break in a second, but before we do that, I would love to just hear maybe a client story, somebody that had like amazing results, somebody you recently worked with, just anybody you want to tell us about.
Oh my gosh. That's like, I'm on the spot now.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Cause I have so many and I'm just like, I don't know which one to share. I think it was like a recent client patient of mine. She's kind of in this in-between transition phase in her life where she knows where she is no longer where she belongs, or not belongs, but there's things that she wants to explore. And there's that part of her that's open and ready to go, but there's this disconnect. And I call it the liminal space. It's like the space of in between. It's like, that's no longer 100% aligned, but you still don't, it's not the next step isn't fully pixelated. You don't have the full image of where you're headed. And when I did a Reiki treatment on her, it was literally her right side, which is like more of the masculine side. And then the left side, which is more the feminine open side. Her feminine side from her solar plexus up, like midway to the belly button, totally open, ready to go. Her right side was it was open, but there was like knots and fears and, oh my God, like, how do I do this? How do I make this happen? Where the left side was like, just whatever, I'm open, I'm ready to flow. When I got to her knees, her right knee was ready to move forward. I got the image of her right knee moving forward, but her left knee moving forward and her right knee being blocked back. And I was like, we need to clear that because that can potentially manifest as a physical injury, and then even when I was sharing what I experienced, I always say, this is what I've picked up and this is what the information. She's like, I felt the exact same kind of similar to when you were moving through my body. Another another patient I did yesterday when I was at her root chakra, I was like, I just see like the ocean, like the waves over your feet and sand and like bright sun, like you're on a beach. And she's like, I literally felt like I was on a beach during the Reiki, and that's like where I need to go. So it's interesting how we have this similar experience without even communication.
Amazing. I love it. Well, I could talk to you all day, but we do have to take a break. So we're going to
no problem.
Right back. And we're going to talk more practical tips on really optimizing our fertility and overall health with energy medicine. So we'll be right back. Hey y'all, it's Coach Kayla here. I hope you are loving this episode as much as I am. We will be back in just a minute, but first, a word from our sponsors. Hey girl, hey! I am so excited to announce the release of my Puzzle Brew Fertility Tea and Yoni Steams. I have been using teas and Yoni Steams from other brands throughout my years in the fertility coaching space, and for women who have purchased my online programs and books. And I have seen amazing results as my clients are getting pregnant, having amazing cycles, eliminating their hormonal symptoms, and more. But I have always thought something was missing. I love herbs, and I wanted to create my own formula of fertility teas and steams that I know are going to not only taste amazing, but are going to work incredibly well for all of you who are struggling with these issues. Plant medicine is so very powerful, and I believe they were created for us by Mother Earth and God to give us everything we need to live a holistic and well-balanced life. These teas are going to not only taste amazing, but provide you with powerful plant medicine and be a great complement to your holistic lifestyle and are one more piece of your fertility and hormone puzzle. So check them out at CoachKayla.com to learn more and to purchase your teas and steams today. Hey Renata, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
Yes, let's talk practical tips. What are your top 5 things for really optimizing our fertility and overall health and vitality?
First tip, number 1, definitely work with either a naturopathic physician or an integrative doctor, because they're going to give you a more comprehensive approach to what's physiologically going on in the body, right? Because if we have a nutrient deficiency or a hormone deficiency, no matter how many conventional routes you're going to take, if that's not addressed, especially our adrenal health is so important in fertility. So managing that stress response, working with a trusted integrative or naturopathic practitioner, I feel is very valuable to address that physical component.
Mm-hmm.
5 tips. 2.
Like next.
I know this isn't, just because something works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And I know our bodies are very unique. So staying flexible and open is so important. So Reiki might be the thing for you. Acupuncture might be the thing for you. Optimizing your diet might be the thing for you. So I know it's going to be a bit of a trial and error. However, don't put so much pressure because something worked for somebody and because it didn't work for you, it might just not be the thing that's out of alignment with your system. Mm. Okay. Instead of feeling like you failed. Okay. Number 3, I think obviously Reiki acupuncture, right? You can just try acupuncture. And again, there's so many studies out there that actually involve the benefits of acupuncture with IVF or just on its own for supporting fertility. And what I love about it, obviously, I know I'm biased, is you do feel rejuvenated and restored. It's helping you on a holistic system versus just like that one, like we're isolating one part of your body. So it is a nice way to manage your stress as well as optimize your well-being and your fertility. The 4th tip is a support system. Mm-hmm. I think it's very important when you're going through this journey that you have the right support system, and because sometimes the people in your life may say comments or when are you gonna have a kid, or what about blah blah blah, and it can hurt, and they mean well, I know, and sometimes it's super annoying to hear. But it's important to go to people that hear you, that understand you, versus maybe talking to the people in your life that don't have the tools to support you in the way you need.
Mm-hmm.
That's so important, to feel like you have the right support. And if you don't have the right support, don't continue to invest in groups or practitioners or people that don't align with you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel bad about it. Okay?
For sure.
And the last tip, I think I've addressed a lot. The last tip for fertility, it takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just getting yourself aligned and checked out and you're exploring this journey solo, it might be your partner who also has issues around the fertility. And I see some people go years not even acknowledging that, or doing an equal investigation with the partner, because it's their energetics, it's their biology, it's their emotional well-being. And it's, I tested their sperm and it's fine. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but there's, okay. So no, that's okay. So
there's so much more.
There's so much more. It is a journey of the two of you. It's not just, I feel like a lot of burden is put on the female.
For sure.
Where, I understand there's some things that have to be in order, but we can't discount the wholeness of the male counterpart as well.
I agree 100%. I love it. And those are amazing tips. So thank you for sharing all of that. Tell everybody where we can find you. Where can we get a Reiki session if we want?
So well, if you're in Canada, I practice in a clinic. That's all listed in my my Instagram. So the best way to connect with me is Align with Renata on Instagram. And then you can see there's an option for in-person Reiki and acupuncture if you're in Ontario, the Hamilton area. And then there's distance, which I can help you with. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. Those options are in my bio link in my Instagram page.
And what's your Instagram page?
Align with Renata.
Oh, Aligned with Renata. Great. Yeah. Love it. Yeah. Awesome. Well, before we close out, Renata, again, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear any final thoughts, maybe words of encouragement, or just something you want to leave our audience with.
Also, I want to leave one mention, especially for the females, if you're on your journey, and don't feel pressured sometimes, because I know the medical system will be like, you only have 3 months and you have to do this now. And that's just one opinion. Okay. And I feel like sometimes people rush procedures when things are not, their health is not in order. And that's the underlying thing, is just getting healthy. And then the fertility is a natural byproduct of that. So don't feel pressured. Make sure you are working with practitioners where you feel taken care of, you feel seen, and you feel safe and understood.
Amen. I always tell my clients, it just takes one egg. That's it. So I don't care what your numbers say. You still have one egg left. You still have a chance.
Yeah.
For sure. I love it. Well, again, thank you for being here. It's been amazing.
Thanks so much for having me.
And thank you, ladies, for listening to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Until next time. Bye. Hey, hang on just 1 second before you go. I want to make sure that you are aware of all of the amazing free resources that I have for you on my website at CoachKayla.com. From a fertility meal plan, a cycle syncing quick start guide, a holistic healing cookbook, as well as master classes, blog posts by me and some amazing experts in the fields of fertility, hormones, and nutrition. So many wonderful resources that will help you on your journey. And I wish there had been something like this when I was going through my 2 years of infertility, but there just wasn't. And so that's why I decided to create all of this for you. So make sure that you go and check it out and you take advantage of this plethora of support that I have provided for you. And spoiler alert, these were some of the same tricks and the same foods that I used to get myself pregnant, not once, but twice, even after my doctors said that I couldn't. So I know that these things work. Make sure you take advantage of that. And I cannot wait for you to be my next success story. So thanks, love. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKayla.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.